Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be diving into Fourth Wing.
Oh, yeah. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros.
Yes. So we've got all of our notes here and articles, and we are ready to unpack this epic tale all about dragons and magic and a young woman named Violet Sorrengail.
Violet Sorrengail, yeah. She finds herself in a destiny she never wanted.
Exactly.
And what a destiny it is. We're talking about a world where dragon riders are the elite military force, the protectors of the realm.
Okay.
And as you'll discover, there's a lot more to it than just soaring through the skies. There's political intrigue, forbidden romance, and ancient lore that will leave you questioning everything.
So first things first, I think we have to get people grounded in this world of Navarre.
Yeah.
This is a country constantly on edge. They're always at war.
Yeah.
They've got enemies lurking at their borders. And their first line of defense...
The Riders Quadrant.
Yes.
Where dragon riders bond with these magnificent creatures.
Yeah.
To become, well, a formidable fighting force.
So this bond between rider and dragon, it's not just like a magical handshake.
No. It is a symbiotic connection.
Yeah.
It goes deep, runs deep. Think of it this way. The dragon's temperament, it directly influences the rider's personality. And this has a huge impact on the social hierarchy of Navarre.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, the Blue Dragons, they're known for their fierce aggression, often bond with riders who rise to like the top ranks of the military.
Yeah.
So it's like this self-perpetuating cycle where the most powerful dragons shape the very leadership of the country.
That's fascinating. So it's almost like nature versus nurture, but with dragons thrown in the mix.
Yeah, right.
And speaking of dragons, there are 6 main types in this world.
6 main types.
Yeah, each with their unique temperament and powers.
Exactly.
You got your blues, your browns, your oranges, golds, blacks, and greens.
It's a colorful crew.
Yeah, quite the colorful crew. So it's not just about size and strength here. It's about the dragon you bond with can determine your fate.
Absolutely, your fate and your place in society.
And then there's this whole concept of signets.
Oh, signets.
So these are special powers that kind of manifest after a dragon starts channeling its power to its rider.
To the rider, yeah. And they're unique to each dragon rider pair.
Yeah.
And it can be anything from manipulating metal to stopping time.
Okay, hold on. Time-stopping abilities. Now, that's what I call a game changer.
It's amazing.
But we can't forget about all the other threats that are in this world. So we talked about Navarre's enemies, right?
Right.
And then you've got the Barons.
Oh, the Baron.
This dangerous, magic-depleted wasteland.
A wasteland, yeah.
And the wards, these magical barriers protecting Navarre, are weakening.
Yes, they are, which makes the country very vulnerable.
So it's like they're facing threats from the inside and out.
Exactly. And that vulnerability is a key driver of this whole plot. Because the weakening wards create this constant sense of urgency. It's like a ticking time bomb, basically.
Okay, so we've got this world on the brink, this complex social hierarchy built around dragon riders, and some pretty powerful magic at play. And now enter our protagonist, Violet Sorrengail.
Violet Sorrengail.
She's not your typical dragon rider.
Yeah.
She's physically weaker than the other candidates.
Yeah.
And her true ambition lies in becoming a scribe.
A scribe, yeah. A far cry from the life or death stakes of dragon riding.
The mother of the formidable General Sorrengail.
General Sorrengail.
Has other plans?
Yeah, other plans for her daughter.
So Violet, she embodies this whole conflict between duty and desire.
Yes. Duty and desire.
You know, she's constantly underestimated. She faces prejudice. There's even some sabotage going on.
Oh, yeah, some sabotage for sure.
From those who see her as a liability. But this underdog status, it makes her journey so much more compelling.
Oh, it does. It really does.
Because it forces her to be resourceful. It forces her to tap into her sharp intellect and prove that strength can come in many forms.
Strength comes in many forms.
That's right. So she's almost like a chess player in a world of gladiators.
Right.
She's using her wits to kind of outmaneuver those who only rely on brute force.
Exactly.
And she does have some allies along the way. I'm thinking about Dane, her childhood friend, who becomes her squad leader. And then Rhiannon, another first-year rider, who sees Violet's potential.
Yeah, she does.
So Dane, his loyalty and his support are a constant for Violet. And Rhiannon's friendship highlights the power of recognizing strength that goes beyond just physical prowess.
Yes.
Now we have to talk about threshing.
Ah, threshing.
So this is this annual event where young riders attempt to bond with dragons. And it's a high-stakes ritual.
High stakes, yeah.
Steeped in tradition and, honestly, fear. Because if a rider doesn't bond with a dragon, they're basically considered a failure.
Yeah, they're deemed unfit for service, their potential wasted. It's a brutal system.
And this is where everything changes for Violet. She doesn't just bond with one dragon, she bonds with two. We're talking Tairn, a powerful black dragon, and Andarna, an incredibly rare golden feathertail.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, talk about defying the odds.
This double bond, it's completely unprecedented. It throws Violet into the spotlight. It's like the universe itself is saying, hey, this girl is special. Pay attention. But it also makes her a target. Some see her as a symbol of hope, but others, like Jack Barlow, they see her as a threat.
Okay, so she's holding, like, a winning lottery ticket, but everyone wants to steal it from her.
Yeah.
Now, these feather-tailed dragons, they're believed to be incapable of channeling power to their riders. But we know that Andarna has a very unique and powerful ability.
Yes, she can stop time.
Okay, so we've got a double-bonded dragon rider with the power to summon lightning, a feather-tail who can stop time. And you're telling me this is just the beginning?
This is just the beginning. We're just getting started.
What does this all mean? What kind of impact is this going to have?
Well, that's where things get even more interesting. Because we're about to delve into the heart of the story. The challenges, the betrayals, and the ultimate test of Violet's courage and loyalty.
Okay. That's a conversation for part 2 of our deep dive.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, we've only just scratched the surface here. We've laid the groundwork, introduced you to the key players, and given you just a taste of the magic and mayhem that is to come. But there's so much more to uncover. So stay tuned, because we'll be right back. To continue our deep dive into Fourth Wing.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Last time we left off, with Violet facing the daunting reality of being
Double-bonded dragon rider. It's unheard of.
Yeah, and on top of that, there are these whispers of conspiracy brewing, these secrets hidden beneath the surface of this dragon-obsessed society.
Yes, and it's those secrets, those hidden truths that we really start to uncover in this next part of the story. Remember the marked riders, the ones who have been ostracized by society, bearing those physical marks of a rebellion long past.
Well, their existence is more than just a reminder of a tumultuous history. It's at the very heart of a conspiracy that threatens to shake the foundations of Navarre.
Oh, okay. So it's like we're peeling back the layers of an onion here, and each layer reveals something more intriguing, more complex.
More complex,
But how do these marked riders, these outcasts, fit into the bigger picture? What is their role in all of this?
Well, what's fascinating is that the marked riders, they're not just victims of prejudice. They're actively involved in a movement that challenges the established order. And the rebellion relics, those marks inflicted on them by dragons, become symbols of defiance, a source of their unique power.
Okay.
And it's through Xaden, the enigmatic wind leader, that we begin to unravel the truth about the marked riders and their connection to the Venin, those terrifying creatures that drain magic.
Oh, yeah. He is a whole other mystery, wrapped in an enigma. We talked about his aloofness, his undeniable skill, and that undeniable tension between him and Violet. But if he's connected to the marked riders, that changes everything, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
It's like Violet has been drawn into a web of intrigue, and she doesn't even know who she can trust.
Exactly. And Xaden Yeladan is a master of deception. His motivations are shrouded in secrecy. But as the story unfolds, we learn that his loyalty aligns with the marked riders, his people. And his actions, even those that seem antagonistic towards Violet, are driven by a deep-seated need to protect his own. And this revelation that the man Violet is falling for is the leader of the very group she's been trained to fight against, it's a betrayal that cuts deep.
So it's not just a clash of ideologies here. It's a clash of loyalties. It's a clash of hearts. And what about the weakening wards? We talk about how they're Navarre's primary defense, but they're failing, leaving the country vulnerable. So is this just a natural occurrence? Or is there something more sinister at play?
That is a great question. And this is where the conspiracy takes a darker turn. The wards aren't just failing. They're being sabotaged. Someone is deliberately weakening Navarre's defenses, leaving them open to attack. And this revelation, it throws everything into question. Who can be trusted? What lengths are people willing to go to achieve their goals? It's like the enemy within.
Okay, so we've got a conspiracy, a betrayal, and a kingdom on the verge of collapse. What does Violet do? Does she just sit back and...
Violet is not one to sit idly by.
Yeah.
She's driven by a sense of justice. And it's through her investigation that we start to piece together this puzzle. She discovers a hidden network of marked riders working to dismantle the wards and allow the Veneen to enter Navarre.
Yeah.
And this realization forces her to confront her own prejudices, the belief she has been taught about the marked riders, to see the conflict from a new perspective.
So she's not just fighting dragons and navigating this political intrigue. She is battling her own ingrained biases.
Yes.
Now, that's a powerful internal struggle. But how does she gain access to this hidden network? How does she learn the truth about their motives?
It's through Liam, a marked rider and a member of Xaden's squad, that Violet gains this deeper understanding. Liam becomes like a bridge between two worlds, a character who embodies the pain of being ostracized, but also the unwavering loyalty to his people.
Liam, yeah. He's a character that really sticks with you.
He does.
I mean, he's torn between his loyalty to Xaden and his growing friendship with Violet. But ultimately, he's bound by those ties of kinship, the shared history of persecution. That binds the marked riders together.
And it's this bond
Yeah.
that leads him to make a heartbreaking sacrifice.
Liam's sacrifice is a turning point in this story.
It is.
It really highlights the devastating cost of war, the personal toll. That extends far beyond the battlefield. And it leaves Violet reeling, questioning everything she thought she knew. Okay, so we've got betrayal, we've got sacrifice, and this conspiracy that's unraveling. But what about the Venin? They're still out there, lurking in the shadows.
Yeah.
What role do they play in all of this?
Well, the Veneen are more than just monsters. They represent a force of nature, a primal energy that was corrupted by greed and ambition. And their ability to drain magic makes them a formidable threat. It levels the playing field, and it forces everyone to confront their vulnerabilities.
So they're like a living embodiment of Navarre's past sins, reminder of the consequences of unchecked ambition.
Yeah.
And it's during a surprise attack on the outpost at Montserrat that we see the true terror of the Venin. It's a chaotic, brutal battle that leaves a lasting impact on Violet.
That battle is a turning point, for sure. It shatters Violet's illusions of safety. It forces her to confront the harsh realities of war, and it hardens her resolve.
So it's in this crucible of fire, this desperate struggle for survival, that Violet's relationship with Lagan takes an unexpected turn.
It does. They're forced to fight side by side, rely on each other for survival, and it starts to chip away at those walls they've built around their hearts.
It's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
It is, but it goes deeper than that.
Yeah.
Because they see each other's true nature, their courage, their compassion, their unwavering determination, and it ignites a spark of something more than just a shared goal.
Okay, so the battlefield becomes a crucible for their relationship.
Yeah.
It forges a bond that transcends their conflicting loyalties.
Yeah, it really does.
And in the aftermath of that battle, Cian makes a decision that changes everything.
He does.
He takes Violet to Aricia, a city that was thought to be completely destroyed. What is the significance of Aricia?
Well, Aricia is more than just a city. It represents hope for the future, a place where the marked riders can live in peace, free from the persecution and the prejudice they've faced in Navarre. So Xaden's decision to take Violet there, it's a gamble. He's defying the kingdom, putting his trust in Violet, hoping she'll understand his motives.
So he's not just seeking refuge here. He's inviting her to join him, to be a part of this new world that he is trying to create. And this is where Violet has to make a choice. She's torn between her loyalty to Navarre, to her mother, and her growing feelings for Xaden.
Her feelings, yeah.
What does she choose? What path does she take?
That is the question that hangs over this part of the story. Violet is at a crossroads, and her decision will have far-reaching consequences, but we'll delve into those choices, those life-altering decisions, in the next part of our deep dive.
I can't wait to see where this goes. I mean, we've got a conspiracy unraveling, a forbidden romance heating up, and a kingdom on the verge of collapse. And at the center of it all is Violet, a young woman who is defying expectations and forging her own path. We'll be back soon to continue our exploration of Fourth Wing and uncover the twists and turns that lie ahead. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
So, we left off with Violet making this life-altering decision to side with Xaden and the marked riders.
Yeah, she's chosen a path that challenges everything she's ever known, a path that pits her against her own mother and the kingdom she swore to protect.
Talk about a family feud with epic consequences.
It is a decision that sends shockwaves through Navarre It turns Violet into a symbol of rebellion, a traitor, in the eyes of many. But it also marks a turning point in her personal journey, a declaration of her own values and beliefs.
Remember, this is a young woman who initially wanted to become a scribe, someone who sought knowledge and understanding. And now she's found herself at the forefront of a movement that is fighting for justice and equality.
Yeah, it's like her love for books, her thirst for knowledge, has led her to a much bigger story.
Okay, but how does she navigate this new reality? How does she bridge the divide between the marked riders and the kingdom that's condemned them?
It's a long and arduous process. It requires patience, strategy, and a willingness to challenge those ingrained prejudices. And it's not just about political maneuvering. It's about changing hearts and minds, showing the people of Navarre that the marked riders aren't the monsters they've been led to believe.
Hey, let's not forget about Violet's mother, General Sorrengail.
General Sorrengail.
I mean, their relationship was already strained, but now, with Violet siding with the enemy, it's completely shattered. How do they even begin to repair that damage? Is reconciliation even possible at this point?
Their reconciliation is a testament to the power of love and the possibility of forgiveness. Remember, General Sorrengail, she is a product of her environment. Her hatred for the marked riders runs deep.
So she's not just a villain, she's a complex character, a woman trapped by her own beliefs, her own past. But how does Violet break through those walls? How does she show her mother the truth?
It's a slow and painful process.
Yeah.
It involves a lot of listening, understanding, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths.
Yeah.
It's not just about Violet trying to change her mother's mind. It's about General Sorrengail confronting her own demons.
And then there's this pivotal moment, a revelation that changes everything. We discover that General Sorrengail was once in love with a marked rider.
With a marked rider, a man she was forced to betray. Talk about a bombshell.
Yeah.
That revelation, it humanizes General Sorrengail. It shows us the depth of her pain, the sacrifices she made.
Yeah.
It also sheds light on the hypocrisy of the system, how it forced people to choose between love and duty.
So it's like a mirror is being held up to Navarre, reflecting the ugliness of its prejudice and the devastating consequences of its blind adherence to tradition.
Right.
And this shared understanding of past suffering, it creates a space for forgiveness, a glimmer of hope for reconciliation.
Reconciliation.
But it's not just about personal relationships. The fate of Navarre hangs in the balance.
It does.
I mean, the Venan threat is real. They're closing in, ready to unleash their magic-draining power. How do they even stand a chance against such a formidable enemy?
Well, it requires a shift in thinking, a willingness to embrace new strategies, to acknowledge the unique abilities of the marked riders.
The very people who are ostracized, the ones deemed unworthy, they hold the key to Navarre's survival.
That's right.
Talk about irony. But how do they convince the kingdom to accept their help?
It's a battle fought on two fronts. The physical battlefield, where the marked riders prove their courage and their skill, and the battlefield of perception, where they challenge those deeply ingrained prejudices. And it is through their actions that the marked riders slowly begin to earn the respect and the acceptance they deserve.
It's a testament to the transformative power of courage.
Courage.
And it's a reminder that true strength lies in embracing change, recognizing the value of those who are different.
And at the heart of this transformation is Violet. She's not just a dragon rider, she's a symbol of hope, a catalyst for change.
And her bond with Taryn and Andarna, it continues to evolve. She's no longer struggling to control her abilities. She is wielding them with confidence and precision.
That's right.
Embracing the unique challenges of her double bond.
It's like a metaphor for her growth. You
Yeah.
know, her ability to overcome adversity and embrace her full potential.
And what about Wadden? His path has been just as challenging, navigating the complexities of leadership
Yeah.
and the constant threat of betrayal.
Gosden's transformation is equally compelling. He shed that, mantle of secrecy, embracing vulnerability. He's no longer fighting for power or revenge. He's fighting for a future where his people can live in peace. A future where love and acceptance triumph over fear and prejudice.
And his love for Violet, it's become a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of connection.
Their relationship, forged in the crucible of conflict, has blossomed into something extraordinary.
So, as we wrap up our deep dive into Fourth Wing, what are some of the key takeaways?
Well, this novel is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, even when the world seems determined to tear us apart, there's always hope. It's a story about courage, about fighting for what you believe in, about embracing change and challenging the status quo. It's about the transformative power of love, the enduring strength of the human spirit, and the possibility of creating a better world together.
That's a beautiful and inspiring message. And as we close this chapter of the deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought. What choices would you make if you were in Violet's shoes? What battles would you fight? What future would you create? Think about it. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep believing in the power of stories to change the world